Hello, it is day 7 of our isolation and I'm going to extreme lengths to try and get decent lighting in my bedroom. Always a challenge. So Izzy's up. Izzy says her limbs all feel very, very heavy. She's still coughing, so she's doing these horrible coughs where you can just hear loads of stuff coming up, so that's still ongoing. She's much better than she was, but she's still getting the fatigue quite a lot. She can't do much without getting very wiped out. We're starting to, you know, think about meeting up with friends afterwards, you know, but I just don't want to commit her to anything just yet in the near future, because I just don't know how long it's going to take her to be done with this fatigue lot. Oh my gosh, I just ran downstairs and back up again. Isabel set the smoke alarm off. She's obviously feeling better. She's made herself some batter and is making herself pancakes. So yeah, that girl is doing a lot better at the moment. The extreme heat wave is still very much at large. What are we on? 28.5. The player of loud music who lives near here actually gave us a break last night, and by 1 AM, it was quiet and I was able to have my windows open, which was a blessed relief with a bit of a cool breeze in the night. So yeah, I had a much better night's sleep last night. I woke up a lot more refreshed than I have done. I could still hear all the chatting though. I don't know where people are coming from in the early hours of the morning, like, you know, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I don't know where they come from, but they seem to congregate outside and have very loud, presumably drunk conversations. People are knocking on doors and shouting to each other, like right in the early hours. I have been deliberately not drinking any cups of tea or anything for the last half hour so I can go and do my lateral flow test. I didn't do one yesterday, I completely forgot. But I'm going to go and do one now, and tomorrow I've got to do the proper PCR one and post it off. I don't know if I'm allowed to take it to a post box. I presume, well, I don't know, because I'm in isolation. I'd better ring the helpline and ask, what do I do? I don't know if they'll send somebody to pick it up. That seems like such an extravagance, doesn't it? Oh, and another thing I've been wondering about. Am I allowed to put my bins out? I'll ring them today and ask them. It's warmer down here, look, 30 degrees. As you can see, it's kind of dark in here. I've been keeping things closed to keep the warmth out a bit, you know, but I'm gonna open this blind now so I can open the window, I think. Okay, update. I opened the blind, I felt a huge blast of heat going on my skin. Opened the window and thought, right, I'm gonna shut that back down again. So the window's open, but the blind's shut. Well, puzzle update. Look, I was busy last night whilst listening to my John Campbell video. Got lots done. Just the sky now, look. And look how much sky. Oh, I'm going to be there for ages. I've started sorting it by shape. This is what I do when we get to this kind of thing where it all looks pretty similar. So I've got the 4s over here, the 4 luggers, the 3 luggers, the 2 luggers sort of like one either side lugger, the really traditional shape. I've got the 2 luggers there, you know, 2 lugs and 2 holes pattern. That's the section for the 4 holes, and that's the 1 lugger section, see? And I've still got loads to sort out, so I reckon another while. This is going to be the longest bit to do for sure. Mind you, that said, we've got a bit of a smoky area here, so that should be quite useful. And we have got some clouds, so it's not just pure blue, so might not take me too long. There's my PCR test and kit ready to do tomorrow, but I'm going to put that to one side for now because I'm going to do... Oh, can't. This is Isabel's box. We have to stick to our own box for some reason, and I don't know why. That's my box. There's one left in there, so I'm going to do that now. I seem to have lost the final extraction tube. I think I'll just pinch one of Izzy's. I'm getting really used to doing this now. I'm barely gagging at all and it's just fine. I take it in my stride, and I think Izzy's the same. Oops, did I just do too many? I don't know, it's supposed to be 2 drips. Whoops. There it goes, going up the thing. Here we go again. My plan for the next little while is to take the clean stuff out of the dishwasher, put the dirty stuff in, wash up anything that needs washing up. Then I'm going to sit up at my laptop and respond to some of your comments for about half an hour, and then I'm going to do an online shop for Iceland and maybe have it come tomorrow, something like that. I need dishwasher tablets soon, nearly run out, look. These are the eco ones, these are from Wilko. They seem to work all right, more or less. I mean, you've got to give everything a little bit of a, you know, you can't put stuff in if it's filthy. You've got to give it a bit of a scrub first if there's like big solid lumps on it. I always do it. I've said this before, but I always do it on the half-hour wash because it just dries by itself in the air anyway, and it saves all that electricity. It's not half an hour yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be negative. Look, I can pop that in the recycling. I've got my recycling bags here, and I'm just not sure you know, what the rules are, you know, whether they're considered a contamination risk. I mean, I could spray the outside of the bags down with my Dettol spray, I suppose, but I can't do much for the contents. It will have been in there a few days, so perhaps the virus will be dead. I'm not sure. It is now comment time and also Coke Zero out of the fridge time. I've just spent about 35 minutes responding to comments on my YouTube channel. I literally set a timer, and then when it goes off I'm like, right, stop. But actually I did carry on and do a few more because I get carried away. And then I booked a slot with Iceland for tomorrow, 12 till 2, and I'm going to go down and do a little stock take of my freezer and see what I can get from Iceland that I can't get from anywhere else, you know, like pasties and sausage rolls, Greggs, you know. I found this in the freezer. We're going to have this for our lunch. Izzy's not hungry yet, so I'll cook it, I'll eat it, and then Izzy will have hers when she fancies it later. That was washing, meanwhile, while I was doing that stuff upstairs. I'm starting to compile a little list here of things to get from Iceland. Isabel has asked for mint cornettos, or, well, shop's own equivalent anyway. Our ice lollies have gone down a bit, but, you know, extreme heat wave, I think that's all right. We are going to order some more, though, because, you know, Iceland is the home of ice lollies. What have we got left in here? We've got some fish already. Perhaps we could have fish for tea tonight. Let's get that out. That can be defrosting. I've got a pasta meal there that needs eating. Could do with getting that lunchbox back into the circulation. We've got one pasty and one of those delicious mushroom steaks, because I had one of those last night while she was chowing down on the chicken dippers. That's on the list because she's eaten all of those. Oh, I think we've got plenty of veg. Some muffins there. Oh, I froze the rolls because I just thought they would go stale, because I don't really eat them unless I'm doing packed lunches. What's that? Chips. Plenty of chips left. Right, okay. I think that gives me enough of an idea. Good, that's ordered for tomorrow. Yay, that'll break the monotony up a bit, won't it? I'm going to pop my pizza in the oven now. Ooh, that's a hot blast coming out of there. I've made a little bit of salad to go with it and just put olive oil and a little bit of like freshly ground salt on it, tiny bit, and stirred it up. Should be lovely. By the way, this wrapping the celery tightly in foil really works to keep it fresh for longer. This is perfectly fine celery in there, not floppy or dried out. So whoever gave me that tip, thank you very much, and I am sharing it on with you all. Are we ready for pizza cutting action? This is my patented pizza cutting method. I thought I'd better share it with you. I have shared it on the channel before. Just the best, you know, you don't burn your fingers. Marvellous. Ooh. I've ordered more pizza to come from Iceland tomorrow. Those kids are out in the pool again. Can you hear them? They're enjoying it, I think. I've heard some very happy shrieks and sploshes and splashes come in. Izzy's not hungry yet. She's going to have hers in a bit, so I'll save her some of the salad. I love this little bowl. I think it came from Wilko. It's just so convenient because you can just lid it and pop it in the fridge for later. Had lunch. I'm on hold now. Track and trace. I've got two questions. One is, can I put my recycling out? Because I googled it and it said wait for 72 hours. But ooh, I think they're answering the call. No, they're not. It's just ringing.
Good afternoon, I'm the current time.
Okay, I go off the phone. He doesn't really know, he thinks it's okay. So my two questions were, can I put the rubbish and the recycling out, or is that considered a contagion risk? Because I googled and it said leave it 72 hours before you do it, but I wasn't sure who that was aimed at, whether it was healthcare workers working within a domestic setting professionally or just everybody else, I don't know. So that was my question. He thought it would be all right, but then he started to sort of get creeping doubts and he said, well, hang on, I'll take your details and I'll get track and trace to call you. And my other question was, obviously I've got to do my home testing kit, my PCR lab test tomorrow, and it's got to go in a post box, you see, so I would have to break the quarantine to go and post it. So I was asking about that, like, would a courier come and get it, or am I allowed to go and post it? But you've got to catch the last post of the day, I think. I think that's what it was. I'll have to double check actually, but it was a prime time, you know, when lots of people were out and about. It's not like you could sneak out in the dead of night and do it when there's nobody around. So anyway, I've left those questions with him. He's passing them on to track and trace, and I'm going to get a call back within 24 hours, which will be no good for my bins because it's bin night tonight. I might be hanging on to them for another week, but it's okay. They don't take up much space. I'm going to get some more coffee on the go now because I filed all my bank statements yesterday, months and months worth of them, but I didn't do anything else because time was getting on and I was desperate to do some Portuguese, so that's what I did instead yesterday. So I'm going to go back and have another filing hour, and I'm going to try and just chip away at it and like an hour a day for a while till it gets done because there's so much of it. There's the dreaded filing pile there. I'm pretty sure there's nothing private there. I was trying to do blurring frame by frame on the last lot. And speaking of which, somebody has asked me if I could do a file with me video, but I've got to be honest, I don't know how I'm going to do it because there's so much private information on all the filing, like addresses and things, so I don't think I can because it would just take me so long to be blurring and doing the track frame by frame because there's 50 frames a second. You can blur with an automatic tracker, but believe me, it doesn't always work, so I think I might be a bit too time consuming that one, but I'll try and think about how I could maybe do one in the future. But right now I'm just going to get on with it with my coffee and put some Portuguese TV on my thing there, which is very pleasant, and speak to you when I'm done. Hello, it's 10:15 at night now. NHS Track and Trace actually did call me back quite soon afterwards. Number one, I can put my bins out. He said just don't stop and chat with the neighbours while you go out and keep away from everybody. So yes, I can do that. And the other thing was about posting the test back, and they said no, you don't do that. When you follow the instructions for the test, it should direct you to organise for a courier to pick it up. Isabel is just not really improving today. She's still really lethargic and her limbs feel heavy, and she just hasn't got the energy to do anything interesting, and so she is bored because her mind is very active but her body does not want to comply. So that's a little bit concerning because this is the 8th day now that she's had this, and I know a lot of people sort of are over it by now, aren't they? But she most definitely isn't. And you know, she's been coming down a bit, but oftentimes I've come down and she's just been flat on the sofa, face down, just with a video propped up there, and she's just said she's too tired to do anything. So that's really miserable for her, and I just don't know what to do in the way of planning things for the foreseeable future because I just don't know when exactly she's going to be up to doing stuff. Well, it's getting pretty late now, isn't it? So once I've finished this edit now, because I've edited everything else up to this point, so it shouldn't take me too much longer, then I'm gonna come and do some more puzzle. I'll have my laptop set up here and I'll probably put on some news videos because that's when I like to catch up with it, when I'm doing puzzles. I've just noticed from my notes here that I took on the phone when Track and Trace called me, they said that if Isabel is still ill at the end of the isolation period, to call 111 NHS for advice. But anyway, if you'd like to support this video, a thumbs up really helps to rank it in YouTube, and if you're new here and would like to follow more of our story, do hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.